get started. Good morning and welcome to today's Women in Automotive webinar, Redefining the Dealership with AI-powered innovation. We're going to give you practical insights from dealers who are actually seeing results. My name is Eliana Raggio, and it is my honor to represent Women in Automotive, an organization dedicated to empowering, developing, and advancing women across every facet of the automotive industry. Our mission is simple but powerful: to drive inclusion, create opportunities, and provide a network where women and allies can connect, lead, and learn. And today, we're bringing that mission to life through this important conversation on redefining the dealership with AI-powered innovation, practical insights from dealers seeing results. AI is reshaping how we sell, service, market, and even manufacture vehicles. And it's essential that diverse voices are part of shaping its future. We're fortunate to have with us an incredible panel of experts who bring unique perspectives as innovators, thought leaders, and practitioners in this space. So let's dive right in and hear from them about the opportunities and challenges AI presents for automotive. Now, we have a panel of 4 amazing women to have this important discussion today. It's my pleasure to introduce Lizzie Lovewell and Sydney Hallett to start us off. Lizzie, Sydney, take it away.
Hi guys, my name is Lizzie. I am an account manager here at DriveCentric, where I have been helping dealers for a little over 5 years now just succeed in their day-to-day lives and make sure that they are getting the most out of the CRM that they're using.
Awesome. And I'm Sydney Hallett. I am also an account manager, and I have been with DriveCentric for almost 4 years now. And I am here to essentially help dealers make the most out of utilizing their system, utilizing AI, and hopefully potentially giving revenue growth to the dealership. Now, I do want to introduce Gia and Mallory. Gia, Mallory, take it off.
Hi, I'm Gia Katzenmeyer with Premier Automotive Group, the Chief Marketing and Digital Officer. I've been with Premier for 7 years now, and it was actually my first automotive job. So I've learned a lot over the past 7 years, and a lot about AI specifically. So really excited to chat with you guys today.
Yeah, and I'm Mallory Eccles. So I started out with BDC. I've done sales. I've taken pictures for the cars, lots of BDC though, and then now I'm doing marketing with Gia.
Awesome. So yeah, we'll get started with our first question about AI.
Yes, and Gia, Mallory, when did you first start exploring AI in the dealership, and what kind of pushed or prompted you to do that?
Okay, so I'll actually let you start because you were on the management side. So she got started, I found out after her. So
I think since I've started with Premier in 2018, it's always been a conversation about AI and what's new in AI. So we've been looking at a lot of different tools and different just people that are offering it. And I think what really pushed us to do it was what we were hearing. You know, it makes our sales team more efficient, more effective. It allows them to have opportunities to do other things outside of constantly having to follow up with the lead or following up on those orphan owners. So I think it really, I guess, drew us to that to see how can we become more efficient in our dealerships.
Yes. And so I was doing BDC at the time at one of our Honda stores. And I remember whenever it first came out, it was more of like a rumor, I guess. And so I was really nervous. I had to look into it and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to find another job in the dealership. I'm not going to have this BDC job anymore. AI is going to take over, but it ended up being something totally different. So I'm actually very pro AI at this point. So it's been great.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So, Mallory, as BDC, you're on the floor, you're working directly with AI. When you first rolled out AI, where did you start seeing the biggest, most immediate wins?
So immediately I noticed our after hours AI responses. So we were getting appointments created before we even touched the customer. So it really took away a lot of like the beginning legwork for us. The AI was doing a lot of that. So that was, I guess, the biggest and first thing that I noticed.
Just to add on to that too, I think in addition to the after hours, the long-term follow-up that we were sometimes struggling with in the dealership, because we all want those fresh, hot weeds. But there are still people that buy after 4 or 5 days later, even months. So that was a really big opportunity for us as well to have the AI take over for our sales team there.
Yeah, that's great. And, speaking of the AI taking over, how have daily workflows changed in the dealership when AI was introduced?
It made it more efficient, more effective. I know I've kind of said that word a couple of times, but it's really true. Now we can have our salespeople pivot from having to keep following up to where they can kind of rely on the AI. Now we are very, very, we make sure we preach. We cannot turn it over only to AI. We still need to be involved, but it just helps our sales team get out on the floor, make more phone calls while they know that they have AI as kind of their backup that they still need to also follow up on as well. But I go back to the efficiency and the effectiveness is kind of the two biggest areas that we've seen where it's helped.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. And I know that, and kind of going back to whenever you first implemented AI in the dealership, we all know change in any aspect is a little scary. How did your team first react whenever AI was introduced? Did you see any hesitation, any pushback, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did. Me being one of them at the time, but I do remember one instance in particular. We at that same dealership, the AI actually told one of our customers that we did not sell used cars. Because we were a Honda store and the AI was, or the customer was asking for a vehicle that was like a Nissan or something, but it was a pre-owned one. And the AI was like, no, we actually only sell new Hondas. So it was kind of like there was a lot of hesitation there because they're like, this isn't going to be effective. This is going to hurt us. This isn't going to work for us at first. But we kind of, it was almost like the AI started to almost like train itself, I guess. I don't know. Anytime we had a problem, we just sent it over to support and it just seemed to kind of, never do it again. So it's pretty awesome.
I think it's worth noting with any AI, you have to kind of train it. We work with a couple of different AI vendors or tools, and that's one thing that I find is really important is just training that AI to respond the way we would like it to respond, because it still is a learning model. So just making sure it learns how we would respond and keep training it there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And did you take any specific steps or do anything to help build trust and confidence around the AI with your staff?
We have done a lot of training, and we had a couple of instances where our team would say, someone would call in and they're like, oh, I was talking to Olivia, and it's like, oh yeah, that's our AI. And it's like, wait, let's, back up a second. This is kind of giving them word tracks on how to kind of make it a more warm transfer. No, that's just our virtual assistant or different word tracks there to make that transition into talking to a live person a little more seamless. But other than that, no, I mean, our team is very familiar. We do as much training. We do a lot of training at Premier. So making sure that our team knows what to say and how to say it.
Great. So, when it comes to adopting AI at your dealership, have you seen any changes in dealership culture as a result of AI adaptation?
I would say yes. It helps the team, like I know I said this before too, but focus more on other tasks that they can maybe we're not being able to do with having to focus on the long-term follow-up. Even when the AI is maybe a little bit off, it's still friendlier, it's more effective and efficient or faster than your least motivated salesperson on their worst day. So I think it's just an extra tool to help our guys and help our girls just be more efficient without their day and working the weeds and continuing to follow up and get people into the dealership. Do anything else?
Yeah. No, I think that was pretty good. I mean, it's definitely given our salespeople more time to take videos of the cars, send out videos, spend more time preparing for the cars. So it's just less of the back and forth. A lot of salespeople, they don't like to sit at a desk and just text back and forth or, type all day long or whatever. So, I mean, I think it's made them a little bit happier. I mean, I can't really speak exactly for them, but I know it would for me, and it did for me.
Perfect. And so with adopting AI in your dealership, how have you used AI for your customer database?
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, we do use a few different CRMs, but we did start using this AIM tool, and since then, I've really been practicing with it. Finding different little tricks and tips here and there. But I mean, just with one small Hyundai store, I think we had like 64,000 people in our database, and we sold within 30 days over 20 cars, I think it was. It was exactly 20 cars, and we grossed over $20,000 just doing campaigns with the AI. I mean, this tool in particular has really taken it a step up for us. It is a learning curve, but I'm enjoying it. So we've gotten a lot of good feedback off of it for sure, and sold a lot of cars. So.
And it has helped us clean up our database too. If someone responds to something and, oh, I don't have that car anymore, we can go in and they'll update that for us. Or, I moved and have a new email address, helping us kind of clean our database there. So when we do send out these campaigns, they're more effective because they're going to the right person. We have the right information on that person. So it's just another area that is something that would take a human a lot of time. AI has helped us kind of speed up that process a lot.
Yeah, that was one of the other things was I think it was like 1,400 hours it would have taken us to do the work that the AI was doing within that time period. It was like 1,400 hours.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot of hours.
yeah, saved a lot of time.
Awesome.
Okay, well, looking to the future, if another dealership is on the fence about AI, do you have any advice that you would give to them?
I would say talk to as many people as possible. Get a lot, find as much information as you can out about whichever tool you go with, and test it. It's really a lot of testing. Mallory especially has done so much testing with a lot of our tools and figuring out what works. Because not only that is the AI learning, we're learning too. So what makes that customer want to respond, or what can the AI say or do a little bit better to help get us that engagement? The biggest area too we've seen is with some of these tools is that AI will actually go in and find some leads that were not engaged or maybe marked as dead for a certain reason. And the AI just gets them to engage. There was one, I don't know if you have it in here, but there was one where they were, someone was talking about their dog was right there with them, and the AI like incorporated, yeah, here it is. I like the spot at if you need anything, just bark. Oh, I mean, call. So it just makes it so more personal, and it gets people to engage because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is get someone to respond to us. And I think sometimes the sales team will struggle in that just because they have so much going on, but the AI is able to really take that and make it more personal. So that's one place. And again, just testing, looking at the results. It does take a lot of time in the beginning to set it up right and get it to where you like it. But after that, you can set it. I would never forget it, but I would just, testing and looking at the results.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And where would you see the next big opportunity for AI to support other dealerships like yours?
Well, I mean, I think eventually you could do the majority of the process. I mean, if the AI, could talk, I mean, I know it can talk pricing, but a lot of people don't trust it for that just yet, which I understand completely. But I think eventually, especially if they start integrating with like credit companies or finance companies and stuff like that, you could probably see a huge deal with that.
And I think just as much as we can integrate it into the entire sales process as possible to make it a more enjoyable experience for the customer. So, from start to finish, if we can incorporate an AI into all areas, I mean, and at the end of the day, just get them into the dealership and then we can sell it. That frees up everyone's time and just delivers that personalized sales experience that sometimes we don't get to do because we are working so many customers. Just using AI in that way.
Great. So now we're going to
We
open
have
up.
a few questions for our guests, if you don't mind. Gia, Mallory, could you explain what levels, where exactly in your current process at Premier are you actually using it? I heard you say on the marketing side, but like, are your BDC people using it to respond to emails? Is it only for chats that come in? Just break it down so I understand, where are you using AI? And I know you said, hey, there's other places we could expand to in the future, but currently, so that everyone understands how deep you are into this AI thing at Premier.
Okay, so currently the way that we have it set up right now, because we do have a centralized BDC department that's already working business hours. So right now we have her turned off for like new leads. So the BDC can kind of do their thing whenever the leads first come in, as long as they're there. But for business hours or after business hours, we have her active for new leads. But she also reaches out to older customers. That we're not, and that's more on the marketing side, I guess, and the campaigns that we run. But we use them a lot for like equity mining customers. What else? Like finance decline customers from like a year ago or whatever. We have like 75 of them that
Yeah.
are set up. So she's reaching out all day long.
We also have sorry.
No, no, I was saying, I love that. I love that you're using it for equity mining and especially for old leads. Please continue.
So I was just going to add on to that. We also do have some service campaigns that run. So we're looking at orphan owners or recalls and getting those people to come back in as well. So we use it on both sides. And it is, I mean, it works. It really does work, but you do have to put a little time in on the front side of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have it on both sides of the house, which is amazing to hear. And then your BDC, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. And if you don't know it, that's fine. Your BDC, they follow up for how many days before you say, okay, this is now considered an old lead, and now we're going to put it in this other bucket, and the AI is going to take over from here and see if we can get any bites. Is that right? How
So
old, like when does the AI kick in on those older leads?
So our BDC, actually our centralized BDC, we have 40 stores, or I think we're at about 36 stores across the country right now. Our
Wow.
centralized BDC we use for one of our platforms in our like Louisiana region. But the way it's structured as of now is an internet lead comes in, the BDC will work it for the first 3 days and then turns it over to the store. But we also have it set up to where if there's no engagement, I believe within 7 days, then that AI will kick in for the long-term follow-up from there.
Okay, I'm gonna throw another curveball at you.
Yeah.
So have you guys been tracking how effective that AI is in saying, hey, we just sold a car from a lead that was 5 months old that was resurrected by the AI, and they actually came in, and so like, have you been tracking how well it is doing with those old leads? Because I just think that's money left on the table that dealers are like, if they could use AI to resurrect those old leads, that's amazing.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I guess percentage wise, I don't have the exact number, but it is insane how many leads we have missed, or opportunities as a whole. It was ridiculous. I mean, like I said, we sold 20 off of it within 30 days. So those
20 extra, like you proved it. 20 extra on top of what you would normally sell. Is that right?
And those were strictly from our database in our CRM, that leads that were just dormant for how we were. I mean, I don't know if we have an exact number on how old they were, but those were strictly from our database that maybe our team had marked dead or just hadn't been followed up on, and AI re-engaged them. And yes, 20 of those people from our our database did purchase from us.
That is so awesome. Okay, so was it your idea to start using AI in so many different places in the dealership? Or I guess what I'm really getting at is, if a dealership out there right now, obviously a lot of dealerships aren't using AI in as deep a way as you are in chat, in data mining, in service, that kind of thing. What did you guys, ladies, say to get your dealership to say, yes, we should start doing this? Like, what could other people listening on the call go back to their dealership and say, hey, we really should start using AI in more ways. Do you have any words of advice to those people?
I would say go to your vendors and ask to test it. That is what we have done. Give us 30 days, prove it to us what you can do. And if your results show, which is what we did with this tool that we've been talking about, we tested it for 30 days and that's where we saw the results Mallory was talking about. And now we have a couple other dealers that are interested in it because we saw that it works. So, especially with a large group like us, and I know everyone is different, but we don't ever roll anything out to everybody. We have to see that it works. So I like to talk to our vendors and talk to them about that and see how they can work with us to show us how it works, and then we can hopefully roll it out to more. But I would say the first step is just talk to your current vendors that are offering it and see if they'll let you try it and let them, let the results speak for themselves.
I absolutely agree. I think that's a great idea. I don't know that every vendor lets you do that, but I think it's worth a shot. You said try it out for 30 days, but you also said, hey, it takes a long time to set this up and get it right. Is that right?
That is correct.
So how long did it take you? And not that, and I also know you said don't set it and forget it, keep massaging it. So how long did it take you to go from, okay, let's try this out, to, hey, we're in a good spot. This is really working for us now. Like it did take longer than 30 days, didn't it?
And I think she kind of means like us more so too, because we just kind of jumped into it. So there were a lot of periods where we ran campaigns and we didn't do them the right way. It was just kind of like we were testing it out. So it took us a little bit to adjust to it and figure out what was going to work and what wasn't going to work, and then stop campaigns or, stuff like that. But it was more so, I think it was just like a click of the button to actually turn it on. Sydney, I could be wrong, but
Exactly.
on our side, getting it,
I will say also, knowing that with this specific tool that we're talking about, I knew we had 30 days, and Mallory jumped in right away and dedicated a lot of time to really putting as much into it as she could to, hope that it did work, and it did. So when you have a shorter period of time, yes, I know I did say it can take longer, but we just made sure we kind of paused a couple of other things so she could focus on that to really test this one out as best as we could.
And the integration part, how long did that take? Like when you said, hey, let's try it out for 30 days, did it take, like, could you have it live in like 48 hours? I don't know. I'm asking. I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, so great question. So essentially, it's just like a click of a button. It analyzes all of the database overnight, and then you're live the next day.
Ooh, I love that. So you really can hit the ground running.
You can, for sure.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so once you've tested it out for 30 days, or maybe even before then, and I know, Mallory, you had said earlier, hey, we saved a lot of hours of, woman hours, instead of man hours. We saved a lot of hours. So that is something that I think a lot of dealers would like to say, hey, this is going to make us more profitable, because it actually, we can quantify the amount of time, ergo money, that this dealership is saving because we are investing in AI. Have you guys, ladies, done that? Have you quantified the amount of money that maybe you save on an average month, or even per person, per BDC? I'm just curious, because that, I think, would be a huge selling point for dealers who are on the fence about AI.
Yeah, well, quantifying it, maybe not so much just yet, but I believe the last time I looked at it, it was about 60 or almost 60 days worth of work. So whatever you pay your BDC agent for 2 months is what ours did in 30 days without a human, basically.
I'll say too, we use a couple of different AI tools, and most of them they'll show you like this is the equivalent of what human hours that the AI worked. So if you can kind of back into the number. DriveCentric is one, but we have a couple of vendors that will show you, this is equivalent to this many humans and this many hours. So then you can kind of back into that number, which I think is really a cool thing. Because that's a lot of people that were contacted in 30 days that it would pretty much be impossible for a human to do.
Okay, well, let's talk about this because I feel like we didn't spend enough time on this slide. So, Sydney, Lizzie, I'm going to bring you in too. Now, before I begin on questions on this, Gia, Mallory, is this actually from your dealer group? This
I don't think that's ours. I don't, Sydney, do you know which one that is?
I'm not sure.
Okay, that's
But
fine.
it
That's
is one
fine.
of our
That's fine. And
dealers.
Sydney and Lizzie, you're going to answer questions on this. Talk to us about what we're seeing on this slide so that the rest of us who have no idea what is going on can really understand the impact that AI can have. Is this for a dealer group? Is this for one dealership? Talk to us about this. Is this over 1 month, 1 year? What's going on here?
Yeah, this is surprisingly over just a 30-day period. This
What?
is one
That's
solar
for 30
panel.
days.
Yes.
Okay,
30
keep going.
days.
I'm listening.
30 days putting in 2,000 hours of human equivalent work to essentially make up the work of 12 humans, reaching out, getting that engagement with those not necessarily active customers within your database. And even just in that engagement section, we can see 15,600 attempts over a 30-day span, which is more than any BDC department in its entirety could probably push out in those 30 days.
So the AI attempted to contact over 15,500 leads, got in touch with and got a reply from 1,678. Is that right?
That is right. Yes.
And from that, got both sales and service profits for the dealership.
yes.
Is that what I'm seeing?
Yes.
And this is
So-
all from the
Hey.
database. This is not like new leads either, which I think is just kind of an important piece. Like these are not new leads. These are from the database that this is working.
So for this particular dealership in 30 days, you're saying the impact of that caused, am I seeing this right? 35 sales
Correct. Yes. 35 deliveries.
and 1,700 plus service ROs.
Yes.
Yeah, so essentially,
Take my money, please.
so essentially, like, even if the AI says, hey, happy birthday, maybe they haven't talked to this customer in 2 years, they delivered 7 years ago. I'll say, hey, John, happy birthday. How's your 2018 F-150 doing? Just wanted to let you know, we're here to help. And that message could, say, oh, maybe I should look into getting a new car, trade in my vehicle, go into the dealership and see. And then a lot of times the next day, the day after, a week later, we see that customer as a showroom up. So even though the customer may have not responded, they came in and went into service. They went into sales and really just said, hey, I saw that message and I want to look at your inventory.
This is mind blowing to me because this just proves that AI is definitely the future of automotive. That top right hand corner of this, how do you measure the satisfaction? Where are you getting that from?
If a customer engages with us and says, I had an amazing experience working with Eliana at the dealership, or your service department took great care of my vehicle. I love my Toyota RAV4. Good engagement that we are seeing from those customers that would, imply that we have a great relationship with that customer. We're maintaining that for future business with them. That is what that satisfaction is showing us there.
So any positive engagement is then interpreted as, a thumbs up, something positive, and so you can measure that.
Yes.
That is fantastic. I am so impressed with this. That bottom line of how much gross you made just on the service side is mind blowing to me. So this is, and I just want to make sure I understand. This is one dealership point, or this is a group? And honestly, it would be amazing if it was a group too. But if it's one dealership point, wow. I mean, do you know particularly what this is?
Yeah, it's one dealership. And yeah, one dealership in 30 days. So, if there was 9 stores in a group, next dealership would have its own dashboard and the next dealership would have its own dashboard. So it's one dealership. And just to clarify here, this reaches out via text or email based on what the customer was last responsive to. It
Okay.
also is all personalized. So that's the difference between this and like an email blast or a text blast. It is incredibly personalized. It will reach out in the language that the customer last spoken, and it will include information that we've talked to the customer about. Maybe the customer went on an Orlando trip in 2021. The AI will say, hey, by the way, how was your Orlando trip back in 2021? I hope you and your family had a great time in your 2018 RAV4.
So you're telling me that in 30 days, a single point, and correct me if I'm wrong, because mathing is hard without enough coffee, got $400,000 or so worth of lift in their bottom line from using one AI tool?
That's correct.
Audience, if you're scratching your head like I am right now, physically, actually, really, or that is truly astounding. That is amazing. Okay. I also thought it was, thank you for explaining all of this, because you glossed over this. This might have been the most incredible part of the entire presentation. And I'm so glad I got you to go back to this and explain it a little bit more to us. Gia, Mallory, I am curious. Why did you choose to personify your AI? You called her Olivia, is that right?
We have a couple of different names. Each dealership has their own name. But we
And do you put a picture with it too, or you just like, no, that's
just a name, but I will say the majority of them, if not all, are actually female. That is what we've seen better results with when they have.
really? Talk to me about that. Why female? Because we're nicer? Because
I really don't know. I don't know. It's just and just kind of what we've always done is had them with female names. But yeah, they all have different ones. So we
Okay,
do
okay.
them by region too. Like if we're in New Orleans, we have more of like maybe kind of a Cajun name or something like that. But
A Cajun name. Okay, that's interesting. And then when you're setting up these campaigns, or is there a setting? Because again, I'm coming at this from somebody who is really trying to learn and really doesn't have a lot to go on this. When you're setting up these campaigns, or Sydney and Lizzie, you tell me, is there like a setting where you say, hey, when you either email or text somebody, only do it during this period of time during the day. Don't write to them at like 3 a.m. How does that work?
well, and Sydney and Lizzie, y'all correct me, but I think it works how wherever or whenever the customer the AI thinks that customer will respond is kind of when they will reach out. So I don't think they would ever do like a cold outreach at 3 in the morning, but if the customer is engaging at 3 in the morning and reaching out to us, then they will engage with them at that time, which is kind of the beauty of it because our humans are typically not awake at 3 in the morning.
I
But
hope not.
but
And not
people
working.
right. But the customers are impatient and they want an answer. So that is where I also see value in a lot of these AI tools is even if we aren't available, I know I'm impatient when I'm ready, when I want, an answer on something. I want an answer when I'm looking at it either at, 9 in the morning or 3 at night. So, or I guess 3 in the morning. But so, to answer your question, I don't believe the AI would reach out without a customer reaching out first in a situation like that.
Sydney, Lizzie, can you confirm?
Yeah. Yes, that is correct. For those cold outreaches, that's not going to happen at 3 a.m.
Okay.
We don't want to send those creepy late at night messages out of the blue. But if a customer is engaging at 3 a.m. and responding back, then absolutely she will pick up that conversation.
Okay. So that's what I wanted. Now that's very interesting because I remember it was a few years ago, and I want to say it was General Motors who actually did this research, but they said almost 40% of their chats and their leads came in after hours. So to have, some kind of a solution that handled those incoming requests and those chats at a strange time, you know, definitely elevated that engagement. Certainly, I know, you know, I'm sitting in bed and I am shopping at 11 p.m., at 12, you know, buying stuff off of Amazon and that kind of thing. And if I'm looking for a car and need a car, I imagine I would do so as well when I'm relaxed and I don't have any other distractions. And so if I started a chat at, let's call it midnight, about a certain car, hey, get back to me because I want to know if such and such car is actually still available, I would be shocked as heck if I actually got a response that said, why, yes, it is available. When would you like to come in? What? Is that what happens? Is that really what happens?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. And the way I like to think about it too is if I am at 11 o'clock at night laying in bed scrolling and I start chatting, if I'm not getting a call back until 9 o'clock the next morning, I'm back at work then. I might not be answering. So if someone's going to respond to me when I'm available, I think that's the beauty of, almost any AI tool going back to one of the questions I think Sydney asked about, the future of it, if we could even integrate more of the sales process at 11 o'clock at night through the AI, of course, there's going to have to be certain stipulations, but I think that is a good segue for the future to let them work work a deal almost in a way, with restrictions, but when the customer is ready to shop. And that's, I think, the beauty of where the future of AI can and could be going.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for answering my questions. I really, really appreciate it. I am sure we have other questions that have come in from the live audience, so I will shut up now. But thank you for my education on this. And Gia, Mallory, I'm so curious to find out how much further you believe you can take AI in the future. And when you do, maybe come on back and educate us a little bit more as well as to, but honestly, it's mind blowing where we are from just, gosh, I mean, I've been in automotive for, well, 17 years now, something like that. So I remember when dealers were like, what's a website? Why would I want a website? I'm just going to keep advertising in the newspaper. And to have us come this far in really not that long a period of time is just incredible. And Gia, Mallory, just one last thing. Those high up muckety mucks over at Premiere, are they now fully convinced of that AI is now something that can help them with profitability moving forward? Or do they still need some convincing over there?
The majority of them are pretty much all on
I
board.
think we're pretty bought
Yeah.
in. Yeah, from the top
Bought
down.
in? Love it. Love to hear it. Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Sydney and Lizzie. Take it from here.
Perfect. So we did have some questions from the audience, and anybody else that has questions, write in. We will answer as many as we can. So the first one, Gia and Mallory, can you share a specific example of where AI helped deliver a better customer experience?
Yeah, take it or me.
Yeah, you can take it. Mallory's
I
always
mean, there's a lot of, I could pull several examples. But I mean, just the fact that it analyzes the whole conversation with the customer. So if in a previous conversation they said something about their daughter, I saw this one the other day. Somebody was like, not engaged whatsoever. It wasn't even an open lead. And the AI just reached out to it and was checking on her and her daughter and immediately started that engagement. And then after a lot of back and forth and everything, then eventually we did get a salesperson involved, but they ended up coming in and buying a car. I mean, I think it came from one of the campaigns that we did, but it was the AI. So there's a lot of examples. It's crazy.
Like, was the daughter coming up on driving age, and hey, you might need a new car. According
Yes.
to our records, your daughter is going to be turning 17 soon. When you're ready for that third car, you let us know. We're here to help. Like, is that something like that?
Correctly, it was a customer that did not buy from us, but they liked their experience before. And so I think one of the last messages was something along the lines of, well, my daughter will be looking in a couple of years or something like that. But she analyzed all the notes all the text messages, and that's how she engaged customer.
That's amazing.
Awesome. So Matthew asks, do you think it's better to make sure customers are aware they are interacting with an AI agent? And what are the challenges with knowing when to pivot to human involvement during customer interactions?
I do think it's important. We actually put out a memo on kind of how to manage that. But I think using things more like virtual assistant or not using like AI, because I think that'll scare customers. And then making sure, I think, if you're watching your leads in the CRM, just you kind of know when a human intervention is needed. And I think it is totally fine to jump in as long as there's some kind of, warm transfer that happens. But I do think honesty is better. Just there's certain word tracks that we've used in the past or that we encourage our team to use, so it sounds a little bit more natural.
I mean, as a consumer, I feel like if I know it's a robot, because that's what a regular consumer would say. If I know it's a robot, I will ask a question in a certain way that I might not ask it to if I think it's a human. Have you, I am curious, Mallory, before you said, oh, there was this one instance where a dealer, the AI said, oh, we don't sell used cars. Did you ever win that customer back?
We probably did. I mean, it was a long time ago, so I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly, but I think we were able to come back with that. Yeah.
Okay. Like you give more leeway when you know it's a robot than when
Right. I know. And I mean, we have had a few instances where we have had to come in after the AI, but and at first a lot of people were freaking out, but it's really not that big of a deal. Like it's not hard to just come behind her and say, look, I'm really sorry about that. It's a miscommunication or, however you want to word it, but it's really not hard to overcome it. People understand that we make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And just to build off on that, if a customer says, "Hey, are you a bot?" The AI will say, "You got me. I'm an AI assistant."
Yeah.
Like it will be transparent. It's not here to lie to customers,
right.
but it will say, "I'm a sales assistant. I'm a virtual assistant." So it's not going to say like, "Yeah, I'm a robot," unless directly confronted with that. But it will say like, I am an AI assistant. However, I'm just here to help the Premier team, or I'm here to help your salesperson Gia with any questions I can pass along to them.
So you ladies at Premier have personified your AI. Do you put a picture with it?
No.
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
We have seen some dealerships put pictures on their website and the name of the AI too. So
Got it. I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know that there's a wrong way to do it. I'm just curious how far people take it.
yeah. Awesome. So next question.
The example about the dog, fantastic example, very personable. Are you ever surprised how personable the AI can be?
I was pretty surprised by that one. I mean, Mallory looks at him a lot more than I do, but she sent me that one and I was like, I mean, oh, anytime, just bark. I mean, call. I don't know. I thought that was really creative, but I'm also a dog person. You might have a better example too.
Yeah, no. I mean, I feel like I'm always sending examples to Sydney or Gia or anybody because I'm always shocked. I mean, it's just something that I wouldn't think of to say to a customer, like I feel like sometimes she's better than me talking to these customers. So yeah, there's a lot of them. It is shocking.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Sandy says, is it possible to train the tool you use on the organization's culture, mission, vision, etc.?
So Sydney, I'll let y'all answer for DriveCentric. There are other tools where we can, they have like questions for us to type in specific things. I feel like with DriveCentric, they've kind of like learned that, but yes, I know with a lot of different AI tools, there are opportunities to really let them know how you would want to respond to a specific question.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that we certainly use one at my company where we've trained our AI to help us speak in our own brand voice. And it took a while for us to figure out that brand voice, but once we did it, the AI did pretty darn good with that. So is there an opportunity with that tool in order to inject your own brand voice, as well as not just how you would like a certain question answered, but, you know, hey, don't be so stick in the mud, be very conversational, for instance, be as friendly as possible, sound very familiar. Are those the kinds of things that you can put in there?
I know we've given feedback to DriveCentric before specifically and other ones too. So, but sorry, go ahead, Sydney. I'll let you.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, we have specific toggles that we can turn on. So if you're a Highline dealership, we can make it more formal sounding. We can avoid the use of emojis. But if you want to make her more personable, if you want her to talk about the inventory that you have, the pricing, make appointments, we can turn all of those on, turn all of those off. But the really great thing about AI is that it's going to read the customer card, it's going to read the lead and base her response off of that. So it's less templated based, and the more questions you feed the AI, sometimes the more it can sound just like a generic email or text template. So that's the reason why this AI seems to get a lot of engagement, is because it's less templated based and just a lot more personable with customers.
More conversational. I love it.
Exactly. Great. Okay.
What are your tips for structuring those AI campaigns, and how many do you run at one time?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, I don't know. Sydney, do you want to take it or you want me to? I
You
can tell
got
them what
it.
I do, and then you can tell them what y'all recommend.
Yeah.
So basically, the way that I've started maximizing it is I'll run a campaign and say I'm doing like cars that are 2 years older and 500 a month payment or more or whatever. So just as an example. So once I click enter, it'll give me a certain amount of customers that it pulls. So say it's like 2,000 customers or something. I'll take that number and then I divide it by 500 because we can only do 500 in a day. And then I find out how many days I can run that campaign to its fullest. So I hit the most amount of people in one day. Does that make sense?
To me, yes.
Okay. I know it's a little bit confusing, but I just try to maximize it because each campaign is 500 attempts a day max. So I just divide it by the amount of people in the campaign, and then that way it hits as many as possible each day in the shortest amount of time.
And you can run as many campaigns as you want
Yeah.
over at any given time, is my understanding too.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
well, are you worried that you might be overlapping? Like one person might get 3 different contacts for 3 different things?
No, so it doesn't hit the customer more than once within 30 days. Is that right?
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
Another beauty of AI, it'll filter those out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the last thing we want to do is spam customers. So
Right.
essentially, if we have, a customer maybe in 3 different lists, it hits the first list, and then maybe they come up in the second list, they're going to be put at the back of the line. So, they'll be queued up, and then if it still is reached out within that 30 days, they'll just be skipped. And then in the next campaign, you might include that customer, right? So it's just really making sure that, you're maximizing the tool. And again, the difference between like an email or a text blast is this does send out over a duration. So you can do short form duration. So you could do a couple of days, or you can do long-term campaigns. So like maybe you want a winter special that does campaigns from, I don't know, October 1st to January 1st. And then it will send out 15 messages a day and just kind of get those little waves of customers so that you're always running a campaign no matter what time.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes left before we have to start wrapping up the show. So let's try and get through some more questions as quickly as possible. And the questions that audience that you've been sending in have been amazing. So thank you so much. Let's keep going.
Great. Okay. We have, in terms of dealerships and your sales process, what kind of functionality is still lacking in the AI space as a whole for dealerships?
I don't know either. That's a tough one.
I don't know. I mean, I am not in the dealership every single day. So, the lead follow-up is really where we look at or, re-engaging those old leads or getting people in the door. So I honestly don't feel like I can answer that question to the best of my ability, but I would love to, explore that, and we can maybe do a follow-up on that one.
Perfect. Yeah.
Great. So someone says, have you used AI to do equity mining of service customers to identify who is in the best position to trade?
Yes, we have done it with we have a couple of different tools that do equity mining for us, and they work well. I don't have an exact stat for you, but we have seen success with those campaigns. Yes.
Great. Vivian says, do you have any use cases for using AI in BDC? And I know we've kind of talked about this, but I guess essentially in your dealership, if a lot of BDCs are very hesitant, like you were saying, Mallory, what would you recommend that process be at the very beginning?
So I mean, as far as just getting started with it, the AI is not to work against you. It's there to help you. So, I mean, if anything, it's saving you time and it's helping you to prioritize the main ones that you need to focus on. Like, I know everybody wants the easy ones that will just schedule automatically, but the AI can do that. I mean, in BDC, at least I was always taught, like, you're trying to build more business, like you have to dig into the harder ones. So she gives you more time to focus on those. I don't really know.
Well, I like what she said, like work with the AI, use it as your assistant or whatever it is, don't completely rely on it, but it's definitely there to help you as much as it possibly can. So using it together and making sure you're looking at everything that the AI has talked about, everything that has happened with that lead before. I know a really cool feature too, and a couple of the tools we use with AI is they give you a little synopsis too. So that instead of having to go through and read the whole lead, which we preach all the time, read the lead, look into it. Where did it come from? What's the customer saying? It does give you a little like paragraph on here's an overview. So that's at least a great spot that you can, direct your BDC to look at that. If they are not scrolling all the way down to look at everything that's happened so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard more than one. I feel like the through line is, oh, AI is going to take jobs.
No,
I mean, I feel that is a complete fallacy. I think it's an extra tool for people who already have their jobs to do their jobs better and make better use of their time and become more profitable and be a better steward of that dealership's investment in them as an employee. So, I mean, has anyone lost their job since you started using AI?
No, I mean, I think it's a compliment to the job, like you're saying, Eliana. I mean, I don't see people still at a certain point are going to want to talk to a human, I feel. I mean, maybe years down the future, but I think right now, I think AI is great for what it does and what we need it for, and it does an awesome job re-engaging those leads, doing the lead follow-up, getting people in the door. But there is a certain point where a human will need to step in. So I don't see it taking our jobs anytime soon. At least I hope not.
Agreed. We have any more questions?
It looks like we're almost at time. So Eliana, if you want to finish up.
Okay, I just got to say, that was a phenomenal panel discussion, ladies. I learned something from every one of you, and I am so, so thankful that you came to a Women in Automotive webinar and talked to us about such an important topic about the use of AI in automotive dealerships. I learned so much today, and I know I'm not the only one. So thank you, ladies, so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to teach us all about what we could be doing more to make our dealerships more profitable and how AI can really make our lives easier. So I want to thank all of our panelists and, of course, to our good friends over at DriveCentric as well. Such an insightful discussion. Thank you all for engaging with all of us today. Yes, as you can see on the screen right now, at Women in Automotive, we believe conversations like this are just the beginning. And we invite you to continue learning, connecting, and growing with us through our upcoming events. Be sure to mark your calendars for any one of these upcoming events. And our annual Women in Automotive Conference is coming up next July 17th to the 20th in Austin, Texas. And this is where industry leaders and innovators and change makers, we all come together to share knowledge, build networks, and create impact. I hope the four of you will see you there in Austin. The last one we had was in Nashville just in August, and it was incredible. Ask anyone who went. So we'd love to see you at any one of these upcoming events, but certainly check it out at womeninautomotive.com/events. And to stay up to date, connect with us on all of our social pages where we're going to share resources, updates, and opportunities to get involved. And that's it. On behalf of Women in Automotive, thank you again for joining us. We look forward to seeing you at any of our future events and continuing this important journey together. All right, everyone, take care. Be kind to each other. Ladies, thank you so much. Time to wave, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Oh. All right.